This is your announcer, Shannon Saint Mainframe, welcoming you to our IP Livecast. It's October 1st, which some might refer to as the beginning of spooky season. I hate the term spooky season. I live in a box under Rob's desk. Every minute of every day for me is spooky season. Don't get me started. Our IP Livecast starts now.
Rob, let her out.
Shannon.
Let her out.
Get up! No! You're done for the day.
Oh,
She's done anyway. She just reads the intro and that's it.
Yeah, like relax.
You can't
And
fire
you're
me.
not
I
even-
quit.
You're a piece of AI. You're not even real. Like relax, girl.
I said that a couple weeks ago and you yelled at me. What changed your mind?
Well, now she's coming after me.
wow.
Got it. Wow. Hypocrite.
Moral relativism.
Hypocrite. Hypocrite.
Coming in hot because it's October 1st. Q4 officially underway, folks. And we're here.
Look
Thank
at
you
your
for tuning
business savvy, Rob. Retiree, investment banker.
World
Q4.
traveler.
Q4, he says.
I just split the year into quarters. Sorry, it's just my nature.
Is that when you
From
get your
years
big
in the
payout
publishing
checks?
industry. a little bit behind the curtain. Yeah, we would pay each other quarterly. That like we would do our. I would say we would do our accounting quarterly.
Well, I mean, now that you're, kicking your heels
no.
up with the big corporate checks coming in to do nothing in your little gilded cage of retirement.
Oh, that I'm not discussing. But no, those checks are not quarterly.
Was that a lump sum?
Like I said, I'm not discussing.
Oh, the only lump you'll discuss is the one in your ass crack? Come on.
Yeah.
That's right, and I'm about to get it aspirated another time. I'm about to get it sucked out.
Has to breathe. Rob's going to be on the cover of Forbes next month, and the caption is LGBTQ4.
Well, now it's like the acronym has been extended even now.
I know, IA, right?
It's like IIA2.
What's
2S.
two? What's
comma
the two?
zero,
Two-spirit.
comma zero, comma zero.
Well, like like for me, it's weird because it's like I want to be respectful and inclusive, but at the same time, it does come off a little. I don't want to say silly, but like I can't think of a better word.
At some point, you got to have the term be catchy enough that people want to say it and aren't looking for
Right.
excuses to not say it.
It doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
My thing is, well, because they started the wrong way. Like they started by doing the four major first original excluded groups,
Yeah.
which was LGBT, and then that's where that was probably a poor choice because then you had to keep adding all the other people who are legitimately have grievances that they're excluded, but then it just becomes so long. You just need a catch-all term in some way.
Mhm.
I like
guess
your
really it's
suggestion.
LGBTQIA2S is the
comma zero, comma zero, comma zero,
which
comma
of course
zero.
stands for intersex, asexual, and two-spirit.
What does two-spirit mean?
That's for native.
It's like
It's
native,
like the
yeah, it's like
indigenous
the
people's
indigenous
terminology.
people. It's not necessarily trans. It's almost a bit. And excuse me to any two-spirit people if I am speaking incorrectly, but it's like almost a catch-all to be like to be perhaps like it could be gender fluid, it could be between the genders, or it could be literally two genders in the sense of sometimes you feel more masculine presenting and sometimes you feel more feminine presenting.
But I don't. You lost me with you said something about Native Americans. Like, what does that have to do with it?
That's what they call it.
That's where it originated. Yeah, like it's from just their, it
Culture.
predates America. This kind of these type of beings in their culture.
Okay, but you don't have to be a Native American or an indigenous person to be this designation, correct?
I don't know. I don't know if I think they
in
just
the
use one of the
wiki-
other terms.
In the wiki, it says it is used. It is an umbrella term used by the indigenous North Americans who fulfill a traditional third gender or gender variant ceremonial or social role in their cultures. So I think that's really what it is. It just comes from their ceremonies where there would be a figure that would be a third, like would be a androgynous kind of presenting figure.
So none of us, like cis white guys on this podcast, could say that we're two-spirit, or we would be appropriating their culture.
Yeah,
Correct.
I believe
Correct. Yes, I
I
believe
see.
that is correct.
so. Were you about to say that you were two-spirit?
I
Darren?
was.
Maybe you
I
have to
was.
Stop yourself.
I was going to announce that I was two-spirit, and now I feel like I'd be
Well, you
appropriating culture.
You could say you're an ally of the two.
I am, and definitely an ally. 100%. I support you.
Am I allowed to say that I am zero spirit?
I can confirm that.
Yeah, thank you. I've never known how to describe myself. Now I finally got the term.
I took Spirit Airlines once.
Oh no!
It was not fun.
I have yet to experience Spirit.
Do they still exist?
Yeah, they just got bought out, I believe, by JetBlue. So
Well, then they don't exist, do they?
The brand still
Oh.
they're not going to cancel the brand.
Hey, man, I'm flying here.
It's such a nationally beloved brand. You can't get rid of Spirit Airlines. What jokes would the Daily Show make about airlines if they didn't have Spirit to make fun of?
I mean, what do you think? I'm flying in the air with an airplane? I sold my business already. I got zero spirit.
That's probably what that guy sounds like.
I'm sure. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, actually.
A little bit. He's like the Nebuchadnezzar version of that guy.
Maybe he'll come back to the Daily Show now that Trevor Noah is leaving.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's how little I pay attention
Yeah.
to the Daily Show.
I am so excited.
Whoa, wait, hold on. Because what could replace him? It could be even worse than Trevor.
Yeah, he was so bad as a host.
Do you still watch it?
Yes, I watch every episode. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
This
The
whole
correspondents
7
are still
years?
good, but Trevor Noah is horrendous.
You're a completionist. Like
I am.
Patient.
I am.
Well,
But
SNL,
like,
I'm the same. SNL to me, it's like almost like sports.
yeah,
Like, it's
for
like,
sure.
is it good? Is it bad? Like, are they tackling the right subject?
Do you have, when you say it's like sports, does that extend to, like, for example, when your sports team sucks, do you root for it to get better? Like the next 3 years from now, they're in a rebuilding process.
Because like if we're gonna keep watching the show anyway, we want it to be entertaining. We want it to improve.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
Well, that's why I stopped, because it wasn't entertaining me anymore.
It still has its moments.
I have limited time to invest in these types of things.
Oh, it's an hour. It's an hour on a Sunday. I could
hour and a half, isn't it?
And
well, you fast forward.
No, with the commercials, you know. You don't need that much
and the
commercial.
music, you fast forward the music.
I just thought it's live. You know, you got to watch it when it's live. That was the whole appeal to me.
I do watch it when it's live if I'm up that late, but I'm a fucking old man now, and I go to bed at like 10:30.
Yeah.
Or
I was where you were probably in like 2010 with SNL. I was like, this still sucks, but I love SNL going back, however many years of my life. So I want to be nostalgic. And then it just wore on me. I was like, this just sucks. Like, it just stinks. I don't want to watch this.
In recent times, I feel the darkest period was like the last few Trump years, because they just got so complacent and formulaic, and it was just, who could we get to cameo? Like, it wasn't at all about the writing and and the writing was so bad. And I guess that's really what it is. Like, it's kind of a sports thing about the writing for me. Like, is the writing actually like the type of comedy that I enjoy? Or it could even be a more, catch-all type of mainstream comedy, as long as it's funny. Number one is it's funny. Is it funny? And is it my kind of funny?
Well, that's the thing with the Trump years. Like, you're right about the Trump years, but I just don't think, like, that was the era when it was really terrible for me. And I did check in. I watched clips, like that became popular or that were being dunked on. I basically almost watched the whole show many weeks just via YouTube clips. But I just think it just because it was during Trump, it wasn't only the Trump sketches that were bad, though. Like, that
absolutely
same sensibility and worldview, like, kind of pervaded the whole show, and it was just very.
I
boring.
think it's gotten a little better now.
I don't really. I'll be fair and say I don't really.
I enjoyed. I feel like there were good episodes last season. And either bad or good, I'm just gonna watch it. It's like watching Raw. Although, funny enough, I've actually I've cut out Raw most weeks.
Me too.
I'm back watching it now that now that it's a new regime. But
I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I say that I actually had a talk with myself, and like I really sat down and thought about it, and I was like, not just with SNL, but like I have so much shit to watch. I have a finite amount of hours. Where can I make cuts? What is something I watch all the time that's a waste of my time? And SNL did not make that cut. So sorry. But I do check in on it. Like I said, every now and then, although I've lapsed quite a bit for a while now.
I'm curious this season. This is a big like transition year for them because a lot of cast members left. And in my opinion, some of the cast members that left were kind of like stinking up the place. Not that they're necessarily bad, but it was
They
like,
just hung out. They hung around too long.
Who was it?
Yeah. Well, number one, Kate McKinnon.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't like she went from being my favorite cast member to maybe my least favorite, like to the point where the thing, to your point, Darren, of not being able to watch it, one thing I allow myself to do is I am so familiar with, I guess, I don't want to say the SNL formula, but essentially like the SNL patterns, because there can only be so many types of live sketches that they do. So they have this, and when they break the formula, it's the most interesting. But when they are following the formula, I just fast forward. I skip the sketch.
What's an example of that? Can I ask you?
I can't. Well, it's nothing memorable because I I skip through. But like, and I would find myself skipping through Kate McKinnon's sketch because it's like, all right, it's another one where she's just playing weird. All right, I get it. Fast forward, or really all the political cold opens. Although sometimes I would just hate watch them for like how bad the jokes were, or if I could predict the punchline of the joke, which I got pretty good at.
Yeah, well, that's sort of the issue with them in the Trump era, is that they felt obligated to have a political cold open every week, even when they didn't really have anything to say. It's like, well, we got to do something about Trump or something about what's going on in politics. Do we have a take? Do we have anything to say about any of it? Not really, but we got to do something. So let's just whatever.
And the worst of it is when the Trump news of the week was he was at this debate and he said something racist, and rather than say, like, instead of saying they would recreate the debate, and then when it got to the part where he said something racist, they would say something 20 times more racist than what Trump said, under the guise of no, like, we're not racist, we're making fun of Trump being racist, but like the only humor is in how fucked up the racist comedy is, you know. Like, I hated that.
Right. That's and I mean, SNL was always political, so I'm not like anti-political sketches on SNL.
Yeah,
it's just like,
or even like anti-bashing Democrat. There's plenty of great sketches that Jim Downey wrote in like the 90s and stuff about Clinton and everything.
It just feels like an activism show. Like, it doesn't feel like let's skewer everybody. I would be in favor of that.
Well, the best is when I feel like my favorite stuff lately is when it's not political, when it's just like making fun of just day-to-day stuff. When there isn't a political slant to the comedy. It's just something everyone can relate to. Which kind of, now that we're on this, I want to bring up this new dating app because it kind of ties into this, where I feel like, you know, the best comedy is comedy that both sides of the opinion could agree on, could like laugh at, you know, like it's not skewering one side over the other necessarily. But this is not that. This is just the most ridiculous thing. So there's a new conservative dating app called The Right Stuff. And with all dating apps, you know, there's a dating app for every micro niche.
Mm-hmm. Even Micronesians.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And microphesians, people who enjoy microfiche.
Oh, wow. That's an older reference than Joe Franklin. That means
I feel like we've had a microfiche reference on the show before. So
I do have a question before you get started. Does The Right Stuff have a checkbox option for 2S?
No, so it's only the only genders allowed are male and female, and it's only for straight conservatives. And the irony, the checkmate conservatives by liberals, is that this is a app being funded by Peter Thiel, which is a famously gay conservative.
Oh, I didn't know he was gay. Okay.
Is that a joke?
No, I didn't.
Oh, really? Oh,
Wow.
he would love to. He would love to hear that
Okay.
because that's his whole vibe.
I don't.
Well,
I
if he's
don't-
famously gay, then why would he love to hear that someone doesn't know that he's gay?
Well, because his whole thing is like being gay doesn't define me.
Sort of like
and
you.
And the reason that it kind of defines me. I would say. I don't know.
Part of who you are, and sunflower seeds.
Yeah,
being
but
gay.
I'm not. Well, he spoke at the Trump. Yeah, it's just sunflower. That's the only other thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
One other
weed,
thing.
wrestling,
You're 2S.
sunflower.
Sunflower seeds and smoking hot dudes. That's what you like.
But yeah, like at the RNC when Trump was getting elected, he famously said, like, enough talk about what bathrooms we're using, and like that's what he said. Enough talk about what no, he doesn't sound like that.
Oh,
but it would be
too.
no. Enough talking about what bathrooms we're using, and let's worry about the economy or some bullshit like that. When it's like conservatives are the ones talking about that. Like it's your group here that's concerned about it.
Would you bang Peter Thiel?
No, he's too he looks too dead in the eyes. I don't know. He looks too.
But you wouldn't be looking into his eyes anyway.
Plus, I have to see him without a shirt on to make a full assessment.
There are now I have
totally
to Google
fair.
shirtless Peter Thiel.
Totally fair.
But with the suit on, it doesn't work for me. I'll say, and like he is one of the people that just screams like amoral evil to me in the sense of like he doesn't care. He's just about making money and doesn't matter who he steps over to take it.
Can I ask you a Chuck Klosterman question? I mean, by the way, check our Patreon. Did a Chuck Klosterman episode where we do tough questions on little cards. Very fun.
What was that game called, Sid?
Hypotheticals?
Yeah.
Hypotheticals. Yes.
My
bunch of questions.
Right. Good. Oh, I thought you were gonna plug
No. Well, go ahead. Well, yeah, we ask each other a bunch of hypothetical questions that are pretty odd, and we end up going off on a whole 90-minute episode about it. It's pretty great on our Patreon, patreon.com/RAPL Livecast.
So my Chuck Klosterman question, hypothetical to you, is supposing Sid just Googled Peter Thiel. He has a stellar bod. He's ripped, and would you put aside the moral evil of Peter Thiel or would that be a positive because you could hate fuck him?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like I love that idea is very appealing to me. Like,
oh, cool. All right.
Like hate fucking like a hot MAGA guy who's like super homophobic and like putting him in his place.
Have you done that? Like, maybe have you ever maybe not full on, but like dipped your toe in that? Maybe the person had leaning tendencies. Okay.
No.
I
went on a date. Yeah. I went on a date with and it was just like, that's it. We can't hang out again.
It didn't work.
But you know what? I was open to. It wasn't because this is the point I wanted to make. Like, which let's watch this commercial and then I'll talk about.
Okay.
I'll talk about it. All right, here we go. So I'm sharing the screen. Here we are. So this is the ad for The Right Stuff, and these actresses, these conservative actresses are
they even conservative, or were they just given a list of words to say without context?
Well, either way, whoever wrote this copy should not get more work in the future. That's all I'll say.
I'm excited.
You guys can hear it, right?
Yes.
I'm always paranoid about that. Let me turn up the volume. Let's do it.
They date. What are you looking for in a partner?
Like a mugshot.
They just have to be a conservative. Definitely someone that wants to have kids.
That's it.
I like an independent man. Personally, I like the alpha male vibe. I want a man who really.
That girl looks like Snooki, you know?
Yeah.
He looks like if Meghan McCain and Snooki had a daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, she looked like a 99-cent store Anna Nicole Smith. That was.
And like, I want an outfit did I know I get what she's saying, but like what I'm hearing is I want a domestic abuser. I want to be slapped across the face.
Well, she has big New Jersey energy, so yeah.
Another one said he just needs to be conservative. Doesn't make it have no teeth. It doesn't matter. It can be just give me a conservative.
I just want a Lubavitcher Rebbe. That's all.
Menachem Schneerson is
dig him up.
my ideal man. Yeah, literally him, not like someone like him. Literally his corpse.
He's
that's
conservative.
rotting. He's gonna come back one day. He
Personally,
said it.
I like the alpha male vibe. I want a man who really loves his family. Definitely someone whose faith is important to them.
For me, it's someone who actually wants to meet my parents.
Wouldn't you want to date a conservative?
For me, it's
And
someone who
that's what-
thinks I'm from an inferior race.
Yeah.
Yeah, like who doesn't want to meet their, like, if it's a serious relationship, why wouldn't you want to meet the parents, you know? That's a weird thing to me.
Well, if your parents are like, George and Barbara Bush, maybe you wouldn't want anyone to meet them.
Maybe all the conservative guys that she dates don't want her to meet their parents for some particular reason.
Yes, because they're in the Klan.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Why do you?
For
wanna...
me, at least I know.
Why do you
great
want to date a
It'd be great if she just went. I don't. Who said? When did I say that? Cut.
Date a conservative.
For me, at least I know that we're going to start off with some shared values.
Yeah.
Well, the conservative men I've dated at least know how to treat me like a woman.
In my personal experience,
Like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
They
treat
hold
you
the
like a-
door open for her, and then as she
Like-
walks past, they smack her in the ass.
Yeah, like, they don't
Well-
call her dude.
It means all non-conservative men that she dated were gay because that's all non-conservative men are all gay. So they were.
Yeah.
All,
Yeah.
they wanted her to dress as a man and
And
take her breasts down.
It's so weird to me. Like, we have shared values. Like, are you saying that like non-conservatives are okay with murder? Like,
No.
Oh,
Yes.
babies, Rob. Yes.
Abortion.
oh, baby murder. You're right. So silly of me.
And like teaching children, like grooming children in schools. They're
Right,
also
quote
for
unquote
that.
grooming.
conservative guys have better manners.
I like that they understand their role in the relationship as a man. I just prefer my men to be masculine.
And what's the biggest?
I
red
prefer
flag
my men to
when it
have a
comes dating?
penis,
Yeah.
unlike liberals. I went out with a man and he was totally flat and smooth down there, like a Ken doll. No
I
more
prefer
for
men.
me.
I prefer my men to dick me down, baby.
Liberals could never.
I prefer to get dicked down, thank you. Oh, me? I
I
want a
only
sloppy. I want my pussy to be sloppy by big dick.
Oh.
I only date men who refuse to eat pussy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, libs.
I just want Joe Pesci.
I only do anal. Liberals could never.
I'm still a virgin.
I love just this. Sorry.
I like her big Texas necklace. That tells me that
I just
maybe
prefer my
she's
men-
an actress.
To be masculine.
And what's the biggest red flag when it comes to dating?
A Democrat. No Democrats.
A Democrat. Can't be a Democrat.
I mean, I kind of agree, but
Yes.
okay.
Oh,
A
For different
Democrat.
reasons.
That's easy. A Democrat.
No Democrats.
like in the sense of like, if you're telling me you're a Hillary supporter, no, sorry, we're not hanging out.
To no.
Hold on. Wait. So it's different. It's different.
Okay,
when you,
but
like you date
what-
men. It's different. When you date a woman, like a lot of them, not of people. I'm not picking on women, but I'm saying Hillary Clinton has that cachet in the news of like she was the first serious female woman candidate. And can you read that, Rob, please? before
Yeah,
I
we just
continue?
got a comment from 60 Shortcake during the stream, and the first thing I heard was 3D saying he only does anal. Now
in a
that's
woman's
not-
voice, by the way. Yeah, but like some people follow politics casually. It doesn't make them bad people. Like she
Right.
might be inspired by like Hillary Clinton, running for president. I could I might clash with them politically at some point, but I wouldn't like totally strike them off the ledger just because.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. Is that ultimately, if their heart is in the right place, I don't mind not aligning completely politically. We're obviously going to have to agree on some things,
But there's some benchmarks that you can't tread on, like if they're if they start saying just blatantly racist stuff or that kind of thing, homophobic
right.
stuff. Well, you would
Yeah,
have
yes.
a problem 'cause they'd be gay.
Well,
There's some self-loathing gay men.
yeah, there's
that's
definitely
true.
that. Well, that was.
Well, you
one
might like
thing
that though, with the Peter Thiel thing.
Yeah, I went on a date with this self-identifying Black Republican who, as we were talking, and I was being like, "Oh, I believe in this," and blah blah blah. He literally was like, "Oh my God, Rob, are you a socialist?" Oh, I'm just kidding. And I'm like, "No, actually, yes, I am. Yes, there's, I'm not offended. That's what I am." But it was self-loathing in the sense that he grew up and came from the projects and like grew up on social services, and he was very much into cutting social services because he thought that it made people lazy and
not him
that,
though, but everyone else that he knew.
Right, exactly. That's exactly. It's because he saw it that was his thing. He's like, I saw it firsthand, and I'm like, that's absurd. And then I was like, even those people, like the amount of money that is wasted on people who are quote unquote abusing the system is pennies on the dollar compared to the tax evasion from the billionaires. And then we got onto like Elon Musk, and then like he started praising Elon Musk for like what a brilliant guy, and I'm like, no, he's not fucking brilliant at all. And then like I'm laying out all the stuff, and then he goes, wow, you sure know a lot about Elon Musk for someone who doesn't like him. And I go, that's exactly why I don't like him, is because I know I've learned about him. If you don't know anything about him, he seems like this virtuous fucking guy, but he's just a fucking billionaire scammer who's taking advantage of other people's ideas, who hasn't come up with the fucking original thought ever,
and was handed his money by his daddy.
Exactly. Like he didn't. Yeah, it's not like he was poor and was a self-made fucking billionaire.
By the way, that's some argument that if you know who Elon Musk is and don't like him, that you actually secretly love him. That's
like oh, you're obsessed with, you have a crush on it? Like what?
Every single World War II historian loves Hitler, I guess. I don't know, because they know about Hitler.
Rob not buying a Tesla anytime soon, asked us Heroes Muffler. If you asked me 5 years ago what my dream car would be, it would have absolutely been a Tesla. Now, absolutely not, because it is incredibly unsafe.
Yeah.
Safety is their last priority.
Well, it's unsafe if you do like autopilot. If you're the one driving it, isn't it fine?
No.
So
because
even if
it
you don't
sometimes
do
goes into autopilot. There have been times where the autopilot got triggered on its own without the user doing it and fucking slammed into a tree. Or and here's the other thing: there's certain mechanism, like, so if God forbid your Tesla falls into a body of water and you are submerged in water, the locks automatically lock and you cannot open your door. And the only way to undo this, because they're electric, and so it has to shut down all the electric. I don't know. Yeah. There's some fucking reason. The only way to undo that trigger is you have to pull out the right passenger seat in the back, and then open this valve, and then there's like a thing to undo. It's like the dumbest thing. You're
already drowned by then.
You're dead. Yeah, you're dead. And it's all because they didn't want to.
If this is his stealth way of reducing the amount of rich people in the world by killing them in these accidents, then
the rich people have Teslas.
Isn't that who has Tesla?
They're not even that expensive anymore. You can get one for the cheapest model is $25,000. That's
above my price range.
But even when
you don't pay it up front,
they weren't like exorbitant. They were like, maybe upper middle class people had.
Oh, really? I thought they were.
It wasn't like Lamborghinis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. They're just
so people richer than me, so let them die. Fuck them.
But it's probably not that, like, their lowest end model set is not that much more expensive than the car that you have. It's like a slightly more premium version of that.
No, even that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
any amount better than me.
But regardless.
But anyway, there's other cars that are electric now.
Exactly.
So like, why do you need to fuck with Elon Musk then?
That's the point I was making, is that there are much more trusted car makers now making electric cars that I would be more willing to use. And really, like, it's not the end. Like, electric cars aren't the ultimate solution.
Wait,
no reference. I'm
sorry. Back on the Nazis again.
This is nothing.
Oh boy.
What is the ultimate solution, Rob?
If anything, they're a stopgap to the climate problem. Ultimately, we need to reduce the number of cars.
We need to do the Flintstones where we drive with our feet.
Yeah. I mean, that would be great.
Dusty's asking what kind of car I have. I have a used CRV. 2014,
Honda.
I think. Yeah.
America, do you want this or this? Think about it.
Well, it's spooky season, so we probably need to go with the first one.
Wow. Yeah,
Sounds
true.
Frankenstein-y.
All right. Electricity wins. Oh, man. She reminded me of the Munsters.
Oh, yeah, we should mention that came out today.
Yes,
as well.
it is October 1st, which means it's a new bonus episode on our Patreon, patreon.com/IRPA Livecast. $5 a month gets you in and archives, all of our archives, over 2 years of archives, and a brand new episode. We just posted a roundtable review of the new Munsters movie that's on Netflix, directed by Rob Zombie. And I got to tell you, you really don't need to watch the movie. Just listen to us roast the movie because it is brutal. I mean, you can watch it if you like goth things, goth backdrops, but if you like plot and character development,
well,
you're not going to find it here.
There's a ton of plot. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's like 4 different plots mashed into one, all at the same time, all contradicting each other.
It's like there were multiple teams of writers that just submitted random pages without consulting each other, seeing what the other group was doing.
Oh.
And then they just smushed all the pages together. Like, here's the script.
It took us like 45 minutes just to figure out what the movie was about. I would say.
Yeah.
Please listen. Please join the Patreon and listen to this episode. It's one of the funniest things I remember ever doing on our Patreon. It's so good.
Yeah.
I had such a fun time dissecting this movie with you.
Well, thank you.
I think that might be our best roundtable discussion episode.
Huh. It's definitely up there. Just because I think this was the one we were all on the same page.
Yeah.
Like, the most.
That's for sure.
Yeah, like we had similar notes that we brought to the table without consulting with each other. Interesting. In the Discord, I see who I forgot who shared this, that Amsterdam considers banning cannabis tourists from its coffee shops.
Good.
Fed up with its own visitors and worried by hard drug criminality, the mayor wants to clean up the city, but will it work? I feel like the story comes out every few years and then they don't do anything about it just because of how much money they make from the fucking tourists.
So why?
But
do
I
they
will say
it,
it does feel very overcrowded, way more so. I mean, I'm very lucky to have been able to go on multiple times, and this last time it felt like a bit too much. It felt like the whole city felt like Times Square. Like the city isn't built for that much tourism because you couldn't find a seat anywhere to eat. You know, everything was packed up. You had to wait. It was a little much.
So stop going. You're part of the problem.
I agree with you. And now that I've gone to some of the outer cities and found that they're like still just as cool but quieter, you don't gotta go to Amsterdam at all.
So what are the outer cities? Blow up the spots.
Utrecht is the one that I went to that I really liked. But my friends went to some of the other ones like Antwerp and the one where the road burn is. I forget that city.
There is a neighborhood called street called New Utrecht in Brooklyn, but Rob prefers the old Utrecht.
He misses it. Isn't Antwerp in Belgium?
Is it? Oh
yeah.
There's some. I don't know. I'm too stoned right now, folks.
You ever go to Ant Twink?
Ant Twink is Rob's drag name.
Ant Twink, Belgium.
Let's see.
Yeah. Shifty confirms Antwerp is in Belgium.
Episode title: Ant Twink. Possibility.
So there is a lot. What did kind of surprise me is how many people are on the streets offering harder drugs like coke and speed. But I did not partake in any of that. Just the greens for Rabba, and then some mushroomage, but that's legal there. Let's see. All right, whatever. Oh, absolutely.
So you couldn't eat the schnitzel in the restaurant. You had to go and eat it on the street. It's like an animal, like a dog
on the street
with a plate of schnitzel.
Yeah, or
Good
really more
boy.
like a waffle, a nice little waffle, or a crepe.
Well, that's
Rotterdam.
street food anyway.
Rotterdam is where. Thank you. Shifu.
Rotterdam?
Rotterdam is where that festival, Roadburn is.
You've
That's a
been?
lovely city as well. I've never gone to Roadburn because I live by St. Vitus, so most of those bands just play St. Vitus. I don't have to go to fucking Netherlands to see that shit.
It's a whole
I hear
new
it's a fun time.
demographic of people to be recognized by when you're.
But I mean, literally, all the friends that I went to on my trip to Amsterdam most recently, the reason they were in Netherlands was to go to that festival, and I just joined them on the week before they went to the festival because I was like, oh, I don't want to go see metal.
I thought you went with like Marina and them.
Marina and I left, and the rest of them went.
Wow. I didn't think
oh
you
my
were
god,
friends with those kind of people.
I had it all wrong. Roadburn is in Tilburg.
Jesus Christ, Rob, where did you even go? Did you leave New York?
Don't trust me for European geography. I'll tell you what.
Fucking hell, man.
I just go where I just went where my friends told me to go.
Rob, when you were in the Netherlands, how was Wales? Did you have a good time in Wales?
I went to New Wales in Netherlands. New Wales.
Oh my god!
What was so funny is the neighborhood that we were staying in was Haarlem,
but with two ways, right?
Was it with 2 ways?
You're asking a lot here. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know it was spelled Haarlem. So that was, and there was a lot of streets in
2 ways. Haarlem with 2 ways.
There was a lot of streets that had familiar Brooklyn names, which is really nice. It was cute. It was cute.
All right.
Speaking of cute, let's talk about Dave Mustaine.
Oh boy.
What's cute about that?
Yeah.
Well, he actually had a little touch. He's lobbying now. There's 2 different interviews where he's been lobbying to write music with James Hetfield.
Yeah.
I first saw it in the new issue of Revolver magazine.
Do you get that delivered?
Yeah.
Wow. Still with the actual paper magazines to the doorstep.
Between me and you, said it's a comp subscription.
Oh, I assume.
Rob doesn't pay for anything.
Yeah, no.
That's not true.
What do you pay for?
AEW
concert
shows.
tickets.
Oh.
That's it.
Wrestling
Sometimes.
tickets.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Anyway, so there was a piece where Dave Mustaine answers fan questions, and one of the fan questions was who was the fastest down picker of the Big Four. I don't think he's officially recognized as part of the Big Four.
I mean, that's what Big Four of what? Big Four of starting
Big Four,
diseases?
yes,
Right
of thrash metal, Big Four of thrash metal, and it actually ends up being a very touching little moment about
Who'd he touch?
His feelings towards James Hetfield. So let's take a listen.
Okay.
Fastest down picker.
He's a prick.
I don't know that would be me. Probably be Hetfield.
So he said, I don't know that would be me. See, he's already being humble.
Humble. I mean, I'm the best at everything else. I'll let him have that one.
Probably be Hetfield or Cherry. He's a very fast player. He's very talented at what he does. And I never really watched his picking method to see if it was all down picking or if it was pedaling, which goes back and forth. Some people call it butterfly picking, other people call it pedaling. I'd say it's got.
What do you call it, Darren?
I call it picking up the little pick thingy and strumming the strings with it repeatedly.
Gotta be James or Terry, yeah. I'd love to say it's me. I'm sure I've got some really fast down picking stuff, but I still think those guys are great. And Hetfield's still one of my favorite living guitar players. Let me go on the record right now.
For now.
Well, here's where it gets a little touching. He references this clip that we played on the show
He
where
had no confidence in himself, right?
Yeah.
where Hetfield said he was like questioning himself and he was bummed out.
I saw the thing with James on stage where he was saying that he was going through a rough patch. I was sad to see that because it's been one of those really weird love-hate relationships. And the whole reason that I ever even pursued any of this was I really liked those guys. You know, if I didn't like him, I would just say, yeah, fucking flush the toilet and we're done with it. You know, he's always been somebody that I really liked playing with. I wished things wouldn't have ended the way that they did, but, you know, que sera, sera. It was a dumb thing that I did by taking my dog up to practice. And it was even dumber to punch him. I really respect him, and I respect his playing, and I hope he knows that there are a lot of people out there like me that like him as a person and don't give two fucks about him being Metallica.
I'm very confused here. Hold on. So, first things first, I've never heard him verbally reference the dog story.
I know.
He wrote about it in his book, which is how it became a meme on our show, because I read it out in his voice. But I've never heard him mention it. And secondly, from what he just said, it sounds like that incident was way more pivotal in him not being in Metallica and not being friends with them anymore. Which I just thought he was telling that story as like color to their back. You know what I mean? Like this is one thing that happened on one day.
Yeah, like he believes that him getting into a fight with James, getting into the fisticuffs and using his Krav Maga, is what was the final straw and got him kicked out. I bet, or maybe it was like. It was perhaps what he felt was like where things shifted.
Wow,
yeah, because didn't they kick him out of New York? Like they got him like a bus ticket back to. Wasn't that the story? Right. So he didn't bring his dog all the way to New York and then bring it to practice. So that must have been before.
Right. That laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
But he's like sort of blaming himself now that not just for leaving Metallica or getting kicked out of Metallica. He's blaming himself for bringing the dog to get abused. That's very like a domestic violence victim excuse. Like I did this.
Oh, I don't know. Well, no, but I think it's because he knew the way I interpreted that aspect of it is he knew that the dog would behave in a way where it would be aggressive. Because didn't James kick the dog because the dog jumped on Ron McGovney?
We jumped on Ron McGovney's car and was scratching the paint.
Something like that. Yeah. So it was an aggressive dog. And so
to a car.
I'm not saying he should have kicked
this is like the people that say they're against BLM because a Best Buy was looted.
No, but the point I'm making is like, look, I know how Bobka reacts to certain dogs. Bobka is my dog for new listeners. And I will just cross the street because I will not put her in a situation where she might act unbecoming. So perhaps he's saying that like he should have thought that that environment wasn't the best place for his dog, where the dog would act out in such a way that would make James Hetfield lose his temper to the point that he would kick the dog, that resulting in the fisticuffs that ultimately led to Dave Mustaine leaving Metallica. Ultimately, I was blown away by the introspection here. This is very unlike past Dave Mustaine.
That's for sure. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
He's like opening up.
Do we think he's dying? Is this like right before you die and you finally reflect and you get things off your chest? Is he hiding some bad medical news?
Or maybe it's one of those good cop, bad cop things where like right now he's kind of annoyed with Lars because they had that whole dispute about the credits of that one song on the demo, on the No Life to Leather demo, which is why they wouldn't release it, because they wanted Lars wanted publishing credit on one of these songs, and Mustaine refused to allow it because he said that Lars did not contribute to the writing. It was just him and James. And as a result of that, they're not able to do a re-release of their original demo. And that caused like some friction. So maybe because he is channeling all of his Metallica anger towards Lars, his anger towards James has softened in such a way where he can now be reflective like this and be like, I love James. I don't want him to, because you can even hear it when we played that Joe Rogan interview a few weeks back, how he even mentioned there how he was always really good friends with James and how they got along. There's all those lovely photos of them as babies in bathtubs drinking beer together.
I only have a finite amount of anger. If I start hating one person more, I have to reduce my hatred for someone else.
Yeah.
Gotta ration it out. Or maybe he's just promoting an album and wants everybody to buy it, and so he's being nice to everybody.
Metallica fans, I really like James a lot.
Yeah.
Wait, are we off the air? Thank God. I fucking hate that guy.
Exactly. Look at these two lovebirds.
Put up Shifty Shortcake's comment. Are you saying he's angry again? Ow!
Angry again, angry again.
Ow! Ow! That song has a lot of very good Dave Mustaine-isms in it.
There's also another Mustaine quote. I linked it in our private chat here.
In the G chat. Oh, and
in the G chat and the private chat. So
let's see.
Wherever you get it. And so this is a text quote, so we don't have the audio here. So Darren, we're going to need your interpretation.
I have been secretly hoping there'd be a day when James and I can write together again. I think the world really does want us to do that. And I think there's a pretty good possibility of it happening down the line. I do think that it's possible that one day James is going to come around and that he and I are going to be able to do something together again. I guess that's one of the things that has always kept me pushing forward. I think it'd be good for Megadeth. It'd be great for Metallica too. Yeah, sure. They need the help from Megadeth.
Yeah, they definitely need it.
They're going broke over there.
What
would this
This
be?
actually, as you were reading it, it gave me flashbacks. I remember a few album cycles ago, he was pitching. This was during when the Big Four were playing. He was saying how he'd want to do a band that was Lars, James, himself, and David Ellefson when he was still cool with David Ellefson. Do you remember that? He said it in like 4 or 5 interviews. We kept joking. We kept laughing about it. And then there was 1 week where he said like, oh, someone in the Metallica camp like hit me up and was like, hey, stop saying that.
Yeah,
that's never going to happen.
That's so pathetic because it's like he's not, he's not some jerk off busking on the train. I mean, he's got like 7 platinum albums. If you want to do a project with them, fine. Call the guy up. Like, don't go to the fucking magazine and be like, I really want to play with these guys. And then they publicly go, no, like, fuck you. We don't want to. Like, wouldn't you cover your ass first and ask them?
But
personally?
so it plays into my theory that he is distributing all of his anger to Lars, because now you see he no longer is pitching. He could have said, oh, I really want to write with James and Lars.
Yeah.
He didn't say Lars.
You're right.
Fuck Lars.
Well, who would really?
Fuck his little Danish friend. Well, who would? Jessica Miller would fuck him.
Oh, I don't. Well, he's got his loaded.
His wife.
Like, who would fuck him if he wasn't a multi-trillionaire, though? He's a little dried up little raisin.
You need more than money, though. You got to have some personality, right?
No.
Yeah, he does. His personality's terrible, though.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of money. That's all. That's how
he seems like a fun guy to hang.
He has famous friends.
Yeah. He's got all of his positive personality traits have nothing to do with him. Like, he's like the worst member of a great famous band. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a little turd. He's not a nice person. I'm not gonna sit here and kiss his ass.
Oh,
I like Metallica.
What did he do to you?
Nothing to me, but I mean, like, well, he was kind of condescending, I guess, when I met him in person. But
you met him in person?
I told the story like a month ago. Well, he was sort of patronizing. I met him when I was 18. He came into the store I was working in, and he was like, there was just a whole gaggle of people waiting for him to not to take pictures, but like it was before cell phones, but like to sign things or just to say hello to him. And I got to my turn. It wasn't like a signing or nothing. He just walked in to buy something. And like, I just went up to him and I was like basically shaking and freaking out because I didn't know, there was no like metal news that I would know that this guy was a a dorko. You know, he was just to my mind, a great musician, my favorite band. So, and I just went up and he was like, "Man, calm down, man. It's all right, man. Calm down, relax. You know, it's okay. Don't worry about it." But it was like in a very patronizing way. But
it was his way of saying, "Trust me, I'm not that great."
Yes,
I don't know. Well, like, how is he supposed to?
No. I mean, like, all right. Let me rephrase that because I know when I told the story, I gave him credit because he could have, like, it could have been worse. You know what I mean? Like, he could have like, get the fuck out of here. I acknowledge.
And
that.
also you have to put in the point. Yeah, like he's trying to shop. He's already getting mobbed by people. It's not the most comfortable environment for him.
I think that's what you said last time.
Well, I imagine it to be that way.
I just felt like kind of like, you know, I guess maybe embarrassed by being an 18-year-old and, like, you know, going up to some dude in person and be like, you know, I'm a fan of yours. And he didn't do anything to really, like, ease that too well. But I feel like he's not that great at, like, social interactions.
Well, but also that was a while ago. Perhaps in the interim, he's gotten much better at it.
Oh, and also, let's be fair, Darren. You were wearing your female beaver inspector shirt at the time, so that might have made him a little uncomfortable.
All right, I forgot that detail.
It was it was sold at the record store. You got a freebie.
I got promo. That's just a promo. I'm not really a female beaver inspector. Like, you got to get licensed for that. There's a shirt. You just wear a shirt. You know?
Well, he's against authority figures, so he just thought that you were a Fed.
Like when I wear, you know, like a Mets jersey, I'm not on the Mets.
Yeah,
you know? I'm not a real Lars. Look, I'm not a real federal beaver inspector. Okay.
And he's like, "Whoa, bro, you got to come down." Cool. Bill.
He likes the FBI anyway. He's like, you know.
I thought that was Dave.
Pro FBI going after Napster. And
that's true.
Was it the FBI?
I don't know. Some feds went after them though.
But he was ultimately, I think, his stance was right.
Okay, but he's still on the side of the FBI or the
well, he's on the side of making money. If FBI is going to help him with that, then inspect all the beavers you want.
They join hands like that.
But well, I think his issue wasn't necessarily that fans were getting the music. It was that these venture capitalists were profiting off of this illegal activity, which he was right about.
Okay. I just liked Napster and liked having it.
Yeah, exactly. I love Napster. Napster was great for me as well. And there's other great alternatives. Like SoulSeek, I feel was better than Napster ultimately. But Napster was a wonderful time.
I use SoulSeek because of Rob.
SoulSeek still exists, believe it or not.
I think we mentioned that.
Yeah, that's how great of an app it is. Bless its heart.
Oh, what is it, like a paid service now? Like, what is it?
No,
is it still illegal?
I don't. I feel like I use it, but I think it's different now.
They've legitimized themselves somewhere. Yeah, monetize it.
Yeah, I don't remember, but what a wonderful time.
How about LimeWire? I heard that still exists too.
I believe somebody brought the brand back this year to do NFTs, which is
God, get the fuck out.
LimeWire was the worst. If you weren't around in that time period, it was like another Napster, but like just loaded with viruses and like mislabeled songs and media and stuff.
It was like playing fishing. You don't know if what you're getting is accurate. But
right. And Napster, I think, had like a voting system or something. Like you could see which things were like more likely to be
which users were more reliable.
Yeah, and
also what I loved about Napster is if you downloaded like an album from a guy and it's a good, you can go into that guy and see their entire library and just fucking
Rob loves going into guys.
You already go into
that. I'm sorry, you can go into that user's music library and just go and it's already like you're downloading metal, so he's gonna have a lot more metal. You really expand your catalog.
I never did that though. I was always like, who does this guy think he is? I'm not that respectful of his music taste that I'm going to take all of it. I'll just take these little things. Let people come and take my entire catalog. I'm going to
I want to also say that Napster, the reason I think another thing about Napster is it was the first app that came out right after higher speed internet became more readily available.
Yeah.
So I think the phenomenon of digital hoarding was like so fresh that people were like myself, like I was just addicted to like, I need to have this band's entire discography and like this whole genre's entire discography, because it was the first time you could really like dive into that, and it was so fun.
I needed it on my iPod.
On those CDRs, you get that big 100 spindle of CDRs
Exactly.
and just burn all the albums.
First, it started with the CDRs, and then they would make compact disc players that would read data discs, so you wouldn't have to. You could just burn MP3 discs, so you could have thousands of songs, or maybe hundreds. It's
Probably
700
hundreds.
megabytes. Yeah, hundreds of songs on one CD, which was game changing. Game changing.
Now I'm going to tell you about the pre-Napster hoarding of music, and this is a story from the same store where I met Laz Aldridge, and it was this guy who was kind of like my boss, but in a different department. Basically, everybody was looting the store. The security guards were all like corrupt and looting the store.
This was a popular music chain at the time, right? Like,
yeah. And there was like one serious security guard who would monitor cameras and do all this stuff. And he worked 8 hours like everybody else. And when he went home, the looting began. Everyone was just taking CDs. And this guy who was like kind of my superior was the worst one. And he would just take stuff, put it in his bag, go on a lunch break, go to his house. He lived kind of close by, come back and drop it off and go back to work. So anyway, one time my friend and I had to go over to his house once for something, like he was going to loan my friend something. Well, I don't even remember why we were there, but he's like, hey, take a walk with me. So I went with him, and I'm looking, and he has a tiny apartment, like a closet. And every piece of the wall, from the kitchen to the bathroom to the bedroom, every piece of available wall had CDs in towers. Like he had those towers.
He stole the towers as well.
If I had a guess, he had. Yes, they sold them there too. If I had a guess, he had probably 10,000 CDs. And my friend goes to him, "Hey, you got a lot of CDs?" He's like, "Yep." And he says, "Oh, you're a big fan of the B-52s?" Because he looks, and on the shelf, there's like literally every copy of every B-52s album, every European import, live, whatever. And he goes, "What? No. Why you say that?" He's like, "Well, look, you got all these B-52s." He says, "Oh, I know what happened. I really liked that song Rock Lobster, and I didn't know which album it was on, so I just reached in the catalog and took every single CD out and put it in my bag." That's what was going on in this place.
Amazing. That's analog hoarding.
Yes, that's the same phenomenon, I believe, because you've learned that you have this new access to every song ever made for free, which he did too. I mean, in a sense, if you're willing to just take it.
Certainly, yeah.
Got the artwork too.
But isn't that how music should be? Like, and if you decide you like this song, give the artist some money. And I think if that was the way it worked, it would just work.
But isn't that really how it is now?
No, because the music is possible to be traded between people. Like, I could theoretically share it with you for free, and they don't like that. Like the studios don't like that, because there's this giant middleman.
How is it shared for free? What do you mean? You can share it for free where they still get paid on it, though.
Well, don't they get paid like a tiny amount on Spotify and stuff and all that, like the artists?
No, see, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Spotify's pay is fine. The issue is they have shitty deals with their labels, or they have deals that like predate streaming, so they're not getting their cut of the pie. But there's plenty of people who are who are bedroom producers who are millionaires off of Spotify.
Right, but that's not how like the studios. There's still a gigantic middleman squatting on all this stuff.
Now the middleman is theoretically Spotify, or the streamer is now the middleman, no longer the label.
But
the label is more just a bank that provides you a loan to do production, but you don't need that. You could just do it yourself.
Well, good.
Yeah.
So everything's fixed.
Yeah, the music industry is
the distribution of revenue is obviously could be better for the artists, but that's kind of up to them to negotiate in a way.
It just feels to me, I'm not an expert as nearly as much as you are. It just feels
I feel
like,
for consumers, there's never been a better time.
for consumers, sure, but it feels like it's still in flux, moving towards. I feel like it would be better than 1995 or something.
I think it's better than 2000. You know,
it's
it's better than when Napster was around. At least they're getting something for this stuff.
Okay.
No,
I think it's worse for consumers because the product is shittier.
Yeah, that's true.
What product?
But that's not necessarily because of the availability of it.
No, it's the availability of shitty stuff.
There's more to sort through, I would say.
That
like,
too.
But there's more of good. There's more good stuff, and also way more shitty stuff.
Is there more good stuff?
I think anyone who
immediate access to good stuff.
Any good artist who's out there who could potentially make music is making it. Like basically, like at least they have the means to do it. So anyone, it's way more likely that good music is going to make it to your ears, I would say.
Not mine, because I just actively refuse it.
But that's your choice.
Yes.
But if someone wants to hear it, they have.
Remember, I'm Zero Spirit.
That's right. 0S.
Yeah.
S0S. Sid Zero Spirit.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Zach on YouTube says, I used to download like half a song, 56K dial-up only. Then I would go out and buy the records.
I used to buy the records too, like because I like having the artwork and all that stuff, like having a physical copy of something. But
I just could never afford it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I had limited fun. I mean, I could afford it in the sense of like, yes, I had $10, but then I could spend that $10 on, like lunch or whatever.
So it was eat or listen to Coin. That's
exactly
until Napster came.
Until Napster, yeah.
Fucking
well,
Lars.
even before Napster, there was just AOL chat rooms.
Lars took sandwiches away from Rob, that piece of shit. Fucking Lars Aldridge. I'll find you one day. I gotta give credit for that because there was a comedian I saw at an open mic once who was just fucking hilarious. He did like 10 minutes and it was on everything. It was like he did one joke from here, one joke from here. One of them was just a bit about Lars Ulrich, and he just insisted on saying his name is Lars Aldridge. Lars Aldridge. You know that guy Lars Aldridge from Metallica? And then he did like 2 minutes on that, and it was just so fucking funny. I couldn't tell you what it was about. All I remember is Lars Aldridge.
Well, it stuck with you. And now that comedian is Sebastian Maniscalco. It's huge.
Oh, wow. No, much funnier than that.
That guy's like a super duper star, right? Like I'm so confused by his massive success.
There's a lot of people like that to me nowadays, like maybe in the last 5 to 10 years that I never hear them at all, but they became famous by having Instagram accounts and stuff that I never followed or interacted with or whatever. I mean, I'll point one out to you when I think of one. I can't think of one right now, but he is one. He's a perfect example of that. The other one is what's the guy that did that? Bo Burnham, who I actually like, but I never heard of him until he had that special, the first one of the two, and I thought it was great. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they suck. I mean, I really like him too, but just the phenomenon of people springing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because the internet is so enormous that you might be over here in your corner. You used to have 3 TV networks.
Yeah.
Someone would be on one of those inevitably and become famous that way. So you couldn't miss it. Now it's just really weird. Like one day they're just automatically famous, like Sebastian Maniscalco or whatever the fuck.
I look at him and I'm like, is he an Impractical Joker?
He could
be. He sounds like he would be an Impractical Joker.
If he wasn't, he grew up down the block from them.
Is he from the Impractical family tree? Is he one of the branches? He's Staten Islandish.
I think he's more Long Island. He gives me more.
I mean, is it really that different?
Yes. One end of the
He's
city
from Illinois. He's not even from over here.
What? Get out of here.
That's just whether you come from the armpit of New York or the asshole of New York.
I am stunned to learn this. He's an Illinois boy.
What I don't like about him,
Arlington Heights.
So is he doing a character, or does he actually talk like that from Illinois?
No, he's born to 2 Italian immigrants.
Yeah, but they don't talk. Italians don't talk like that in Illinois, do they?
But if they're immigrants, I guess they still have the old school Giuseppe shit going on. I don't know.
But they don't talk like
maybe.
Sebastian Maniscalco in Italy.
I haven't been to Italy. I don't know, Rob. Italy's near Antwerp, right?
I've never been.
It's like a couple blocks.
Relatively compared to
Yeah.
here, yes.
You hear any Sebastian Maniscalco accents when you were in Antwerp? No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sebastian Maniscalco. Woo! Yes, I was in Antwerp the other day. Oh man, that's where my parents come from. He's like a muted Andrew Dice Clay to me.
Yeah.
Sort of less dirty, but somewhat dirty.
Is he dirty? I feel like
He says a few curses.
No, he's like very PG. That's
he's
the whole,
PG-13.
I think that's his whole appeal is that, like, you know, he's a comedian for people who aren't fans of comedy. That's how I.
He's Dane Cook of this decade.
It's just for people who just want a fun night out that doesn't threaten their sensibilities too much, and they can just laugh a little bit.
But he does have a few like slightly edgy jokes. He's not like, you know, fucking Rich Little or something. You know, he's got
the Italian Jerry Seinfeld.
No, he's more big influences. I think he's more edgy than Jerry Seinfeld. Slightly. I say, like I said, Rob said PG. I would say PG-13.
Probably not in his private life, but on stage.
To be fair, I've seen maybe 10 minutes.
Teenagers.
10 minutes of his material or so I've seen, so I can't really speak to it.
Yeah.
But
he's a super duper star.
Good for him. Good for him. Just don't need you on my TV screen, okay?
He's like the people that would watch Ridiculousness like 5 episodes in a row. That's who likes Sebastian Maniscalco. Like,
yeah. Is that show still on? I don't think I ever watched that show either.
I watched, you know, here like flipping.
It's on literally right now. It's on 20 hours a day.
What was the difference between that and Tosh.0?
Tosh.0 was like a coverage of memes and internet culture. Ridiculousness is like
home videos.
But in format wise, it's like it would just be Tosh.0 would be like talking about it in a daily show format. And Ridiculousness is like sort of like life's like we're gonna do a watch along of memes.
So they react in real time as opposed to we've already seen this and now here's the jokes we wrote. Okay.
They have 3 panelists and a host. And the panelists, they watch the memes for like the first time. They're seeing them for the first time and they're like, oh shit, look at that guy just broke a table or something. You know,
and were the panelists just like jackass guys and stuff?
No,
or like
they're like musicians,
like TikTok celebrities,
Instagram influencers, and like pretty girls. And you know,
all right.
Sometimes they're musicians. Sometimes they're comedians.
All right.
It's the same show over and over and over forever.
In a Livecast meme check-in, Livecast meme Hall of Famer Succulent Chinese Meal has a racehorse named after him. In fact,
let's see.
Let's check out this footage.
Does Mike Francesor have a piece of this action here?
Got a great deal of room and democracy. My beagle, shame on us, very deep. Now Narito's back on the inside and is slicing through, but there's not a great deal of room. And democracy manifest in plenty of traffic. Bowman guides him into the clear, 4 lengths off the lead. Stromboli being joined here by Shalale. Democracy manifest wide out with Mensa Missile. It's Stromboli. Democracy manifest. Yes. Oh, there's more Chinese meals. Democracy manifest. Good to win the last. Big win from either Shadow Devil late on the scene and Stromboli the inside with Shalane.
I know which horse Sid put his money on. Stromboli for sure.
I love that the guy calling the race though knew the reference and was able to throw out jokes about the name of the horse, and you didn't just think it was just another name. Props to him. I guess that's probably like an even more popular meme in Australia than it is generally, right? So maybe that guy's like a superstar there.
And the horse in the 4th lane just said, "Get your hand off my penis."
That's a gelding, right? Isn't that what they cut their dicks off? Isn't that what that is?
In this case, it's the jockey trying to make him go faster.
Oh no! Well, should make something happen
He's
faster.
edging. He just gets him to go just close to coming, and then he stops, and the horse gets mad and goes faster.
Just at the end of the racetrack, there's just horse vaginas.
Oh,
they got to get to him quick. You want to get your horse dick in there.
Oh, sorry, Sid. Step on your joke there.
It's quite all right. It probably needed to be stepped on. Step on that horse dick.
Yes.
I see that you know your judo well.
His delivery of that line kills me every time. He's so sad and defeated.
He's resigned to his fate of penis touching and arrest.
Give him all the Oscars.
PTA, penis touching and arrest.
It's a fun night out for some people. If you go on the Right Stuff app, that's probably a box you could check to get all that stuff.
Before we go on, I want to mention of a Japanese, a famed Japanese figure who sadly passed away, Antonio Inoki, the ultimate Chad of his day. Like
when did he pass away?
Last night.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he's been sick for a little bit. And Antonio Inoki is essentially the most famous wrestler in Japan, top 3 maybe. Let's say he's the Hulk Hogan of Japan. But I don't know if you've seen those Chad memes of the guy with the really big chin. Like that's Antonio Inoki.
Yeah.
Like, look at this dude's chin. It's fucking insane. And this is him when he's old already.
Yeah.
Like, let me do Antonio Inoki young. The man was a stud, and he had a famous
Rob,
match.
Calm down.
Would. Although I'm not sure he would let anybody top him.
W-O-U-L-D or W-O-O-D?
Both.
W-O-U-L-D. He had a famous match with Muhammad Ali that a lot of historians consider the first mixed martial arts match. It really was, because it mixed boxing with like he was restricted. So the whole thing about it was he wasn't allowed to throw any strikes, Enoki. So what he did was he just got on his back and he would throw kicks, and he actually fucked up Ali really bad from the kicks. And people observers would say that Enoki won the fight, but because Ali was such a big star, they ruled it a draw. But it was a very famous match.
Are those kicks what gave Muhammad Ali Parkinson's?
Oh no.
Well, he didn't kick him in the head. He kicked him in the legs. He messed up his legs a lot.
So his legs only had Parkinson's from this?
The tremors were so strong they went all the way up to his head, but they started at the knees.
I wanted to share this video, which is how I always remember. Antonio Inoki was considered a god in pro wrestling. He founded New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I miss the old Japan.
There is no old Japan Pro Wrestling.
There's an all Japan.
There's all Japan.
Kind of sounds similar.
Yeah, good enough.
But so after he retired, so his whole thing, like his move was he had like some serious chops and slaps, and he was the cheerleader of the thought of fighting spirit, which is no matter how much pain you're in, you fight through it and you get the spirit. And if you have the ultimate fighting spirit, whoever has the most fighting spirit is the one that will win the battle.
So 2 spirit individuals would have an advantage.
Mm-hmm. Right. They would have
2 fighting spirit. 2 FS. 2 FS.
So, like, did Tatanka ever participate? Because he probably, like...
I don't think he wrestled in New Japan. But and because he is the god of fighting spirit, there was this mythical belief that if you were slapped by Antonio Inoki, that he would literally, well, not figuratively, he would slap the fighting spirit into you. You would get some of his fighting spirit force transferred into you via slap. And so there was this iconic moment at a show, at a Enoki tribute show.
Oh my God.
Every wrestler in the locker room, and I think other people, just literally lined up to get slapped by Enoki. And they get a slap and they're like, thank you. And then they walk off.
Those don't even look like hard slaps.
Well, he's an old man. What are your memories of Enoki, Darinsky?
I mean, I'm in awe of this guy. I never followed the MMA stuff, but I just, he created so many things that I love.
He slapped a woman in the face.
Hey,
she wanted it.
She got in the line, buddy.
Yes.
He just created so many things that I love, you know?
Yes, agree.
And it's like goes beyond any of his individual matches, you know.
Beyond, exactly. Beyond his body of work, the amount of people that he's influenced who are favorites of mine is immeasurable.
Right.
There's a photo from Hulk Hogan's wedding that's so funny because
it's Enoki fucking Bubba the Love Sponge's wife. That's a pretty good photo.
Oh my god. No,
he slapped the spirit of chicken parm out of her.
No, because there was so much respect for Enoki that he was in the center of the photo in between Hogan and Andre the Giant, over Hogan and his wife, Linda, who just literally looks like female Hogan. Look at Linda's wife here. I mean, Linda's mom, Linda's wife.
She looks like
who's this fucking chef? Who's the chef? Just like, oh,
that was one of the WWF Vince McMahon career gimmicks. Like, he didn't know that he showed up in character, and then he didn't know that it was a wedding, like a regular wedding. He got his wife shunted off to the side for Enoki. I love that.
But yeah, one of the best Enoki matches, one of the wildest Enoki matches I've seen is Enoki versus Vader. Mm-hmm. This is where Vader's big debut in Japan, and Enoki let Vader beat the shit out of him. It was essentially like that Brock Lesnar John Cena match, and the crowd was stunned.
I feel like when go ahead. When I was like getting into Japanese wrestling, like tape trading and all that shit, like I feel like I got to Enoki appreciation late. Like I was more because he was already 50 by that point when I started doing that stuff. So, or maybe late 40s. So I was like more trying to like see the newer, like current stars and everything, and I didn't like have a full appreciation of the history of Japanese wrestling and all that. But like when the internet kind of took over and blew up, I feel like I looked into his backstory a lot more and realized what he did for wrestling in general, not just New Japan, not just Japan, but like I feel like he has influence all over. Like basically those Flair chops, you know, kind of are mimicking him, you know, and that everyone woos about.
Also, he became a politician, and definitely some shady stuff. He worked with North Korea. And he worked with the Soviet Union at the time of the Cold War.
The Dark Side of the Ring, all about him brokering some WCW
the collision in Korea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was also accused of working with the Yakuza and taking bribes, and that's why he resigned from his post.
Well, what's interesting is that he was embezzling money from the company that he founded, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and when wrestlers came calling and ended up leaving, it forced him into a position to innovate and allow these other wrestlers to come. So if he never embezzled money, certain wrestlers wouldn't have quit the promotion, and then certain other wrestlers who ended up becoming iconic figures in Japanese pro wrestling wouldn't have gotten their shot,
just like he planned.
Because the spot wouldn't have been open, because that guy wouldn't have quit because he wasn't getting paid.
Jesus Christ.
But ultimately, they resolved it by having all of those wrestlers who quit come to the ring one by one, and Enoki slapped the shit out of them. So that
and all of a sudden, there's $300 extra in their wallet.
Yeah, what? How did this happen? I thought I was just going to get Fighting Spirit. I got $300.
He also kind of gives me like this Arnold Schwarzenegger vibe, you know, where like everybody knows who he is and like respects him and like thinks he's a tough guy.
Politician.
Yeah.
Wait, everybody respects Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, not like, but you know, like
culturally.
Yeah.
I guess
I respect him culturally. Yeah. As a person, maybe not. So
yeah.
I think he's a great iconic figure in our culture that I love. Like Michael Jackson. I can say the same about Michael Jackson. He's a horrible human being, but I love his work. He's not a great artist. What?
He's done some good music.
You don't think he's a great artist?
It's hard to listen to now.
Sure, yeah, he is. I just want to let your comments stand alone there.
I don't. Okay, but I said he was a horrible human being. I'm not defending his crimes, but I'm saying that's a good example, like a comparison point. Like I don't think Enoki is nearly, or Schwarzenegger either, is as bad as Michael Jackson.
No,
but it's a comparison point where you can Mustaine. There's another one. I think he's a great artist, but I don't think respect him as a person.
Yeah.
So this actually ties into our Spotify playlist, because Darren, your song,
I played Enoki's theme song. Oh,
what is it?
Hono no Faita, or Enoki Bomaye. It's the chant during the song, which he took from the Ali fight in
yes,
Africa, because the crowd was chanting Ali Bomaye, which means kill him. Ali, kill him. And that became like a pro Ali chant.
A rally cry, yeah. This reminds me, another insane match. He had a match with Masa Saito that was just in a jungle. Like, talk about pre-COVID innovation.
How do you feel that?
They just filmed it like a cinematic match, and it was like an hour long, and it's awful, but it's fucking wrestling in a jungle. It's great.
Right.
And it's an actual jungle. It's not like a set.
No. They're in the jungle. Yeah, they can't afford a set.
So what do they, like, throw each other into trees and shit?
Yeah, it's everything you assume it is.
Patreon watch along.
Yeah, I'll watch that. Kidding me?
And my song pick is in honor of the Italian elections last week with their new far right politician. My song is Der Mussolini. It's just a coincidence because I've been on this whole goth kick lately.
Why are you kicking these poor people? They're frail. They're sad.
It's those very thick leather boots I'm wearing. They just make me want to kick.
Let's see. Show feet, Rob.
I'm not wearing boots right now. I'm wearing slippers.
Show.
Go get them. Go get them.
Indoor shoes.
Anyone wants to
go ahead.
Anyone wants to donate? We'll put Rob's Cash App in the. You want to pay for feet pics?
Yeah, he'll take.
Or if you want to get me those like you see, I have like double wide feet. I can only shop online now because my feet are so fucking gigantic. So if you can get me some double wide goth boots, I'd appreciate it.
Goth kicking equipment.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's by Giorgio Moroder and DAF. I've been listening to New Deutsch Hardness, which is like New Deutsch Hardness. It's just like, industrial stuff. It's nice.
What was the name of that group?
DAF. DAF.
I thought I heard a murder in there.
Oh, they're with Giorgio Moroder, who's a disco producer. Giorgio Murder. And Sid, what's your pick?
The band Chisel.
Oh, sorry.
They haven't played a show since 1997. They were Ted Leo, iconic indie rocker Ted Leo, before going solo, was in a band with his brother. The band was called Chisel from New Jersey. And they haven't played since 97. But there's some fest going on in LA next year called Numero 20. I don't know what that means or what the deal is, but apparently
it's number 20.
All right, yeah, but I think Numero is a record label or something. I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but apparently it's a thing. So they're getting back together to play this fest, and it's their first shows since 97, which I think is the year I actually first heard them, and they were already broken up by then. And our good pal Bushwick Barry was talking to me about this because he's a huge Ted Leo fan and a huge Chisel fan. I was like, that's cool, but I don't know that I like Chisel quite enough to go cross country for them. Hopefully, if they're playing a reunion show at LA, they'll also play one in Jersey where they're from, and I will gladly go to that. I'd cross state lines. I just don't know I'd go coast to coast. But anyways, my favorite Chisel song, On Warmer Music, is my playlist pick because they were a very, very good indie rock poppy punk band, and that's my favorite song. And maybe I'll see them eventually.
All right. And as we mentioned, we have a brand new roundtable on our Patreon, $5 a month, patreon.com/RIPLivecast. And if you want to throw us a few extra bones, $10 a month, you are a top Livecast fan of the week. And you will get a shout out at the end of the show, which is in just a few seconds. But I want to mention, if you want to support the show, don't want to throw any bones, you got to hold on to your money, like I mentioned about buying CDs. Understandable. There's plenty of ways you could support us. You could leave a review on our on your podcast platform of choice where you listen. You can send us some feedback, riplivecast@gmail.com, or you can send us instant feedback on our Discord chat. You can get an invite at ripalivecast.com. The invite to our Discord is there. Also, the invite to send us feedback is there as well. So do that.
And some Rob feed pics.
Yum, yum.
By the way, RIP this week stands for Right Stuff Investor Pasbani. Because I bet you, much like Peter Thiel, you just want profits. So you're going to go and invest in that app.
I threw some money in Peter Thiel's Palantir company.
Isn't that the drummer from Gojira?
No, that's the good memory though. It's Mario Duplantier.
Yeah,
close.
Same thing.
Close.
I had an RIP too.
Oh, do it.
No, what's yours?
Raba's incredulous podiatrist.
Well, that's when he gets his butt bump drained. He gets it injected into his feet. That's why his feet are so wide. He's got all that extra pus just stored for some reason in there. It's gotta hurt. I don't know why you do that.
I do go to an orthopedic doctor actually for my butt bump, but not a podiatrist.
Oh. Why?
I guess those are the people who look at the butt.
Orthopedic people? Isn't that feet though?
It's legs. It's just below the pelvis.
So for your dick, you would go to an orthopedic doctor?
I guess so. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh no. Well, it's the bone. Oh, I guess it's the bone in the skin. I don't know, but it's the.
I could say maybe it's because of like how your lower body impacts how your feet operate. But I think they're strictly feet. But I think I could see how their practice relates to the other parts of the legs and the back and the butt. But I think they're feet doctors. I could be wrong.
Oh my God, have I been going to the wrong? What have they been doing? Why do I have a foot on my butt?
I feel like any doctor could aspirate a pussy bump.
Yeah, sure.
Well, no, I'm going to a separate department for that. I'm going to the radiology department.
I mean, I could do it if you got a few minutes later. Fucking needle.
Easy peasy. All right, top Livecast fans of the week. How are we doing this, folks?
Let's see. Do it as do it as what's her face? Fucking SNL lady who just left. McKinnon, Kate McKinnon's RBG impression.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, come on. A final
That's a
farewell. That was your favorite, Rob. You know it was.
Is it the one when she raps? Did she rap?
The Ginsburn. She'd do the Ginsburn.
Yeah.
No.
Come on, Rob.
No.
You know you have that in you. You have the power to do that impression.
I'm not feeling it. Let's see what else we got. Darren, do you have a way to deliver these lines?
All right, I have an idea. Why don't you do it as Kate McKinnon as RGB?
I'll do it as what was that other one? What was some of the guy ones that she did?
Well, Dusty Rhodes Muffler says, I do it as Antonio Inoki.
Oh, no.
I don't even know how do you impersonate him.
Just
Yeah,
do a bunch of slaps. Line up. Okay.
Eric, Benjamin, El Dorino, Dan Hart, Sam I Am,
Ow.
Minnie Mayer Skipper,
Ow.
Gender,
Ow.
Ow. AKA Justin.
Ow, that really hurt.
Cattle Decaf.
What are you doing? Stop slapping me.
Robo Vampiro.
Ow.
You go like Stockos.
Ow.
Lando Dakes.
Ow.
LaCroix.
Ow.
Corey and Scotty H, no slaps for you because you're underage.
Oh. What?
Doug Pigman.
Ow.
Douglas Touriu Levison.
Who are you?
Hey guys, it's Josh.
Deserve slapping.
All right, that's our show, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. We kiss you. We'll see you next week.